Over the last few months, this little group within the U.S. government has been making financial decisions that will affect everybody's lives, and nobody even know they exist. They may have never even heard of them. They're called the House Armed Services Committee. From AI to defense to semiconductors, people are not paying this any attention. I need to show you the U.S. budget system, how it works, who the players are, and how we got here. Once you understand the full story, making the right decision is just second nature. You don't have to be feeling like, I gotta beat the market, I gotta beat this, I gotta beat that. I understand where things is going and how it's working. You start literally being able to decode the matrix, but you have to understand the matrix to decode the matrix. Y'all know the drill. This is for information and entertainment purposes only. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. Make sure you consult with a financial professional. All investments take on a risk of loss of your money. Don't you ever forget that. Make sure you do your own research and your own due diligence. And with that being said, this is a really fun, good, informative episode. One of my best, might I add. Enjoy. So, over the last few months, this little group within the U.S. government has been making financial decisions that will affect everybody's lives, and nobody even know they exist. They may have never even heard of them. They're called the House Armed Services Committee. They're making some major decisions that will affect everyone's lives, from AI to defense to semiconductors and all the likes. And people are not paying this any attention. And I think everyone should be paying this attention. The reality is, once you know what I'm about to reveal to you about how they work in this United States government, you will be able to make important financial decisions that could affect you for the rest of your life. But before I show you that, I need to show you how this entire machine of the U.S. budget system, how it works, and I need to show you who the players are and how we got here.
And you said it's called the ARMS?
The House Armed Services Committee.
House Arms Service Committee.
Yes. Okay. So before we go into it, I have to come out and give you some context. And this story starts with one of my favorite moments in U.S. history. Favorite because it's so salacious. Richard Nixon and Watergate. It's so salacious.
Nobody knows what it means.
Nobody knows what it means. When I
hear that word, that's what comes to mind.
Really, like, you know Watergate, but you don't know Watergate? Okay, so I will put gate on the end of anything. Like, oh, you know, we had a problem with the car gate. Like, I'll put gate on the end of anything. But Richard Nixon was a wild bull. Okay, he was a wild dude. So first of all, it started in 1972 when he was up for re-election, and he decided to tap the Democratic National Committee office in Watergate. Okay, and 5 of his guys, Goonies, went in to tap it, and it got caught. Now, the messed up part about this is he didn't even need to do all of this because he won by a landslide. Okay, but come to find out, in the uncovering of all of this, come to find out he'd been tapping everything, all up in the White House. People being recorded, they didn't even know they was being recorded. So it started a whole 2-year journey about pulling these tapes. And so just a quick little aside story. The guy who was in charge of investigating these tapes, his name was Cox, I think. The attorney general, he ordered to fire him. The attorney general said, no, I resign. Then the assistant attorney general stepped up, and then he was like, no, you fire this guy. And he was like, no, I'm not going to do it. So 3 people just left office.
Oh, wow.
And so this is a crazy thing. This sent the American people in a tizzy, and then they distrusted him. And so, like, a lot of things got exposed. I don't know how much history you know, but like history, Nixon is a polarizing name in history because of this. Okay. Side note, there is a major Republican, I cannot remember his name. He has Nixon's face tattooed on his back because of how much of a power taker this man was. He admires how much of a power taker. Just FYI, Donald Trump is everything that Nixon wanted to be. Yeah, I know, right? So anyways.
I'm still stuck on the politician with the tattoo on his back.
He was somebody that was like real popular the first Trump term. I cannot remember his name. Doesn't matter. I'm sure I'll police it down below. face on his back, okay? Nixon face on his back. But anyways, Nixon, his peoples got in trouble. They tried to cover it up. The cover up was really the big problem. So for 2 years, they was fighting for these tapes. And it basically came to like, okay, he's about to get impeached and like, we're probably going to prosecute him. So he eventually decided to step down. He resigned. Mm-hmm. He's the only president that's ever resigned. A month before he resigned, I guess because the weight of the world was on his shoulders. Now, let me also back up. The process for allocating money in the U.S. government before this, for, I don't know, from like the 20s up until 1974 at this point, right? So overlapping. Up until this whole entire time, the way that it worked was Congress allocated money and then the president had the ability to impound it. So they would decide like, oh, we're going to put $1 billion over here. And the president be like, nah, I don't like that. Not doing it. Mm-hmm. And this was just a very cumbersome, chaotic process. So in the Constitution, Congress is supposed to have what's called the power of the purse. Okay? Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind. But felt like they didn't have any power
during that time frame.
Nixon just abused the crap out of it. And so this is why things changed in 1974. But from 1972 to 1974, his name is just salacious because we're in the middle of Watergate, right? Like Watergate happened in 1972. He got elected. Then 1974, a month after this law that I'm about to tell you about that changed all of this, is when he resigned. But because all of this salaciousness was going on, I guess he just started, I don't know, I'm assuming he just started getting tired. So Congress ended up submitting and getting approved. And he actually eventually signed it into office. It's called the Congressional Budget and Impoundment Act of 1974. Mm-hmm. It did a few things. One, it set up the House budget committees, the Senate budget committees, the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, which we'll talk about that in a minute. And it limited the impoundment rights of the president, okay? Because they can just impound anything. Like, okay, y'all agreed on this. Y'all supposed to have the power of the purse. Y'all agreed on this. I don't like it. And of course, he was turning down things that he didn't. So in his defense, we had a deficit problem then too. Mm-hmm. So he was trying to control the deficit problem. And no, y'all not spending this, y'all not spending that. There were also some things that affected minority people that should have gone to affect minority people. He wasn't trying to do it. I'm not saying that was the major thing, but this was how the power was getting abused. And then Congress was feeling like, we don't have no power. This guy can do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. So they put together this act. It passed. He signed it. Now, the reason that he signed it, even though it took away his impoundment rights, the reason that he signed it is because there were some things that he wanted to put in place. For instance, the CBO, right, the Congressional Budget Office. Mm-hmm. He also we talked about this in the past. He also wanted to be able to control the budget from the top down versus having all these little chaotic ways, everybody fighting over money, mm-hmm. like being able to look at it from an aggregate standpoint. And so there was language in there about that. Did it actually do that? We'll talk about that in a minute. He was willing to get all of that and give up his impoundment rights. Now, in the back of his mind, he probably knew, I'm going to have to resign soon.
Okay, because that was just my question. I mean, you set it up and you said he resigned right after this law. So, like, this happened. This law got passed. Right after that,
a month later, he resigned.
A month later.
Wow. I know. He was a wild dude. Let's talk just for a second about the CBO. The CBO is another agency or entity that essentially they're the scorekeeper. They can run analysis to decide, hey, if you increase spending to this, how is this going to affect the economy? If you decrease this spending over here, how is this going to affect the economy? If we increase the deficit by this, how is this going to affect the economy, the budget, all of that? Mm-hmm. And so that's their entire job, which mm-hmm. is something that was very much so needed. Okay, so he was willing to trade off adding these features to our government for this impoundment because he like thinking to himself, maybe like, it don't matter, I'm not going to be here, no way. Yeah, I mean, when you study Nixon, it did seem like he really did love his country, you know, whatever. I'm sure that everyone's going to have comments down there, but I don't want to get this into a Nixon analysis situation. But this whole story that I'm telling you is so you can understand 1974 was when the modern way of government budgeting, federal government budgeting, was put into place. And that is why we are here. Now, it is very complicated. I'm going to just try to simplify it as much as possible to the point in which you can take advantage of it. The other thing the reason why I wanted to do this episode is because once we take this 30,000 viewpoint of everything, you can see how many is moved. I really hope that it shifts your mindset about investing and running a small business. Real quick, this is a great moment. This is why you need to be on our newsletter list. I break everything down. If you are a regular viewer of this show and on the newsletter, please let them know how much I break it all down in the newsletter. You need to get the full picture. Some of y'all understand things better when you read it and you see the outline. I know the show is entertaining and I be giving y'all game, but I really give a full game away in the newsletter. Go to the link down below, sign up for the newsletter. It is absolutely free. Sign up right now. Once we take this 30,000 viewpoint of everything, you can see how many is moved. I really hope that it shifts your mindset about investing and running a small business. Both, for real. Of course, y'all know I'd rather function in the private markets and in small businesses. So I was going to say specifically small businesses, but really both. I want you to think in systems. I loved how last week we kind of coined this term, stop thinking like a ticker picker. I want you to think in terms of systems because all this connected. Actually, Brandon and I had a conversation offline about balance, work-life balance, purpose, passion balance. Yeah. Right? And I was saying, I think one of the things where people go wrong just in general is they look at their life in these silos. You think of yourself as having 8 different departments of your life. You have your parents, your family life, you know, with your parents. You got your spouse, that family. You got your workout life. You got your work life. You got church life. And you just try to balance all of these things. And I think that that's where people go wrong. It's all one. How you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're operating as a whole, that's what it means to be whole. And I compared it to, you know, back in the day, still to this day, polytheism, when they was worshiping all those different gods. That's similar. When you do that, you're doing something similar. And this is why they was worshiping all these different gods. Oh, we gotta, you know, sacrifice to the fertility god because it's separate. We gotta sacrifice to this god because it's separate. And it's not. It's all one. And this is why God said, stop separating. I am one God. All of it is all one. It's all, when you do this over here, it's affecting this over here. Okay? This is why it's so important. Like, you start working out, it helps out with your business. You start eating right, it helps out with your business. I'm gonna tell y'all know I love me some cookies. If I eat a bunch of cookies and then try to work the next day, I'm not thinking so clearly. So you saying... and I fast every Monday. Every Tuesday, I am so sharp. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. You fast every Monday, and then every time when we're not here on the Monday and I see you eating on a different day. You be like, what Nicole eats? So Brandon typically comes in on Mondays, and I'm always fasting on Mondays. He doesn't see me eat. It's a Tuesday today, and we just ate, and your whole mind was blown. Like, I've never seen her eat before. But, so Nicole Purvy encapsulates everything. The mom, the producer, the director, the author, the fund manager, the partner for I Trust Capital. If you want to allocate your own money, if you want to allocate your money in self-directed IRA, use my link below. Get a free $100. Real quick, that part deserves an explanation. Let me explain. If you've been following me for a while, you know I talk a lot about protecting and growing wealth. But one of the biggest concerns in crypto today isn't just volatility, it's security. That's why I partnered with iTrust Capital. Their premium custody account uses a closed-loop system designed to help reduce the risk associated with hacks, phishing, attacks, and unauthorized withdrawals. If you'd like to learn more, check out the link below. And if you fund a qualifying account using my link, you can receive $100 bonus right in your account. And yes, iTrust Capital is a paid sponsor of this content. Investing involves risk, including a possible loss of principal. Crypto assets are volatile and may not be suitable for all investors. This content is for informational purposes only and is not investment, legal, or tax advice. Okay, back to the convo.
But all of it is one Nicole. The Nicole you get, the fund manager, is the Nicole you don't get at home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, we can come back to that because I had a whole little analogy about that. But I want you to look at investing the same way. This is why I'm giving you this whole entire story.
Okay.
Because once you understand the full story, this is why I always try to get you to understand systems. Once you understand the full story, making the right decision is just second nature. You don't have to be feeling like, I got to beat the market, I got to beat this, I got to beat that. I understand where things is going and how it's working. You start literally being able to decode the matrix, but you have to understand the matrix to decode the matrix. What happened to Neo?
That's a perfect segue.
He went and talked to the father and the mother of the matrix. I need to understand this thing to beat this thing. Oh, I know, I ate with them. Maybe I didn't, I don't know. Okay.
That whole little piece right there, yeah, that was
good?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Nice little piece of pound cake.
All right, so I made like a little, I'm going to flash a graph up on the screen, but I made a little chart talking about the machine in this 30,000 view. So, okay, this is how I want you to see the machine. This is the way that it was designed, okay? First, President's budget proposal. Then it goes to House Budget Committee and the Senate Budget Committee. So both the House, which is 435 members, and then the Senate, which is 100 members. Remember, I explained this to you guys before. Some of you already know this. Y'all might remember this from Political Science 101, but most of you forgot this. You got three branches of the government. The legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. The judicial branch. Devereaux. Branch Devereaux. Blanche Devereaux. The executive branch, the judicial branch. Whatever, yo. Okay.
You got it.
The executive branch, the judicial branch.
Now you got judicial. Now you got executive
branch, judicial branch,
and the legislative.
And the legislative branch. Okay. Executive is the president.
Right.
The Supreme Court justice is the judicial branch.
That J is kicking your butt.
I got a little bit of a speech impediment, just a damn minute. Okay. And then the legislative branch is Congress. Congress is made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Okay. The reason that I'm saying this is because when people think of the word legislative, they think lawmaking. And that's not the only thing that Congress does. Congress allocates money. This is a big part of their job. This is why it's important for you to make sure you vote for Congress who represents you, because they are allocating the money. All right. The other thing I want to say about this too is, I've said this before, I just want you to never ever forget this, that the two most powerful positions to have in federal government, or I don't want to say in federal government, but in government, is the Senate, which is one half of Congress, okay, and governors. It's only 100, every state gets 2 Senate. Every state gets 1 governor, okay? Because we are really 50 different countries. And so the governor is the president of that country. All right? Don't you forget it, okay? So anyways, so it goes from the president's budget proposal to House Budget Committee, Senate Budget Committee. They have to agree. They have different systems in their committees on how they allocate budgets. Then after that, once they agree, it goes to Budget Resolution, then Appropriations Committee, then it goes to federal agencies there. Okay? Before I go into the next thing, I want to ask you a question. What do you think agencies do with the money?
You asking me personally?
Yeah, what do you think agencies do with the money? So we went from presidential budget proposal to House and Senate budget committee to budget resolution to appropriations committee to federal agencies. Now, before I tell you where the next stop is, what do you think federal agencies do with the money?
All right, so if I had to answer and give my personal opinion, I think that federal agencies create like another set of budget where they would maybe allocate for like government jobs or government resources or something
This is
like
where
that.
people. This was what I want you to see. Federal agencies give out contracts. Do you know who they give out contracts to? Public and private companies. So this is why I wanted you to see this system so you can understand how people like Elon built up SpaceX to what it is right now. Most people think it goes from bootstrap. We're out here selling t-shirts out of our trunk till we just sell a whole bunch of t-shirts and then we got a warehouse. Then we got a warehouse and now we're going public. Oh my God. No. Or they think venture capital. I got to go raise venture capital. Let me get some venture capital and then we'll go public. Not always. That's not a big part of the story. A big part of the story is you can literally jump start to a huge business entity by getting in where you fit in and doing government contracts that's allocated by the agencies that got their money from being allocated a year before, and everybody got the news. Nobody's just reading this. These websites where you get all this information from, they look like they was made in 1993. They ain't been updated from 1993. They telecast these committee hearings. Guess how many views they got?
Probably not a lot, huh?
97.
Yeah.
Maybe 9,700. Like, not a lot.
But you know what? It's so crazy, and it totally went over my head when I saw. I ain't even gonna say over my head. I just didn't pay attention to it at all because it was like whatever. Right after he became a trillionaire, estimated net worth. Got him everywhere. First trillionaire in the world. Now I saw something. I didn't go click into it and fact check it, but I saw something on my broker that was like saying that Elon Musk said, a lot of my wealth is attributed to the backing of the government.
Yeah.
Right? And so I overlooked it. And yeah, but now that makes sense, right? Because of what you just said. Like, I forgot in some type of form or fashion, SpaceX is deeply intertwined with it.
We're going to get into that in a minute. We're going to get into that in a minute. Or I think we'll get... I got some things I want to share, but it may line up with what you heard. I want to go a little deeper. So it goes from federal agencies to contracts to public companies, then ETFs. And then guess what where the ETFs is? You should know. You should know this off the top of your... This is second nature. We done talked about this.
Where the ETFs are?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh my God. 401ks.
Yes, we talked about this in depth.
So if you align yourself and your company is large enough, you could potentially, it's like a pipeline, right into 401ks. And average American people that's unsuspecting, don't care, set it and forget it. Yeah, just put it in the index fund, set it and forget it.
Okay, run that back. You got to run that back.
Run the whole playback.
Run the whole playback now from the top to all the way to my 401k.
The president's budget to the House Budget Committee, Senate Budget Committee. Then after it gets approved there, it goes to the budget resolution. Then it goes to Appropriations Committee. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Then after it gets approved there, then it goes to the federal agencies. Then the federal agencies, they assign the contracts to public companies or potentially some private companies. But from public companies to ETFs to 401ks. If you want to do an aside, let's say they sign a contract to a private company. Guess what? Private company might have some private credit. Guess what? They just made new laws to where as though you could put private credit, or they're making new laws where you could put private credit in your retirement.
I think you said that like 2 podcasts ago.
Right. So no matter what, your retirement is funding the whole thing. But let me just be very, very clear. This is where I want to delineate, and I think a lot of podcasts or content, they don't do this. And this is where I really want you to pay attention here. Because many of you, I would say 70% of you are thinking, oh my God, my 401k, probably because of how I positioned it. My 401k is funding this and the government is controlling my 401k. That's what you're immediately going into victim mindset. And I'm not saying that the system is right, but what I want you to do is understand the system and be able to move accordingly. So I don't want you to go in a victim mindset. Your brain should always be, oh, how can I get into this? How can I fit in here? That's the difference between, like, when I think about, a lot of y'all say this all the time, so I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Y'all say this in the comments. I love how she thinks, okay? The difference between how I think when I was in school and the average person, I would explain all of this and the average person would immediately go into victim mindset and say, oh my God, my 401k. I'm, on the other hand, always immediately like, how can I get that contract? I don't even go to there. I don't even go over there. And so I'm not saying I got a monopoly on this way of thinking. I want you to start thinking like that. Because until you start your own country, you in this system.
It's like going to a restaurant.
Talk to me.
It's like going to a restaurant, and at the restaurant you can only pick from the menu, right? You can't go into the restaurant saying, when I get in here I'm going to request some duck.
You know what's funny? It's funny you say that. I am known. Shout out to everybody who knows me. Every restaurant I go to, I alter my meal. Every time.
And see, it makes sense though.
It's like
because the most,
can I get that? But can you sell this?
Can you take that?
You got that over there. Can you put the sauce over there? And you pay extra? I don't care. Can you give me that?
I don't care.
Just give me both dishes. How about that?
but I don't care. But what I want is what I want. But most people are gonna go into the restaurant and read the menu for face value. When the truth is, the menu was already preset, right? It was already somewhere in a room set about what we're gonna have, how much of this we're gonna have, and like by the time you get there to go eat, all you got is the selection.
But what I want you to do is go into this menu, go into this restaurant. You see this is a fixed selection. Let's say the waiter is not letting no substitutions. Very rarely do they ever deny me my substitutions. I've never been to a restaurant and I didn't alter it.
Put my potatoes on the side, please.
I've never gone to a restaurant and didn't alter it. I'm not alter what I want. I'm not lying. What I want you to do is the average person is going to go and they're going to see the menu and say, okay, we can't change this. I'm going to choose something. And I'm going to try to make the best of it. We're going to talk trash amongst each other. Look at this is nasty. And we're going to complain. That's what the average person is going to do. But what I want you to do is you're going to go into the restaurant. You're going to look at the menu. You're going to look around and say, oh, it's popping in here. Excuse me, waitress. Do you know if this is a standalone restaurant or is it a franchise? Oh, it's a franchise. Are you familiar with the owner? Oh, he's here right now. Can you go grab him? Oh, it's him over there? Okay. Hey, sir, I love this restaurant. Do you mind if, like, I just got a couple questions to ask you about how'd you get this franchise? That's what I want you to think.
You just glowed when you said that. You ain't even see it. Was, that was good. That was good.
Oh, thank y'all.
Nah, but that's free game.
This is what the show is all about.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do is always go in a restaurant. You like the restaurant, you like the food. And know that we're still thinking in an analogy. You like the restaurant, you like the food. How can you get in there somewhere? Hey, do you need a supplier? You know, you good with produce? I don't know. Hey, I got a company. He does trucking for produce. I'm only thinking because
So how are you relating that back to being as a
And
person direct to
again, I'll go back to this from president's budget down to 401k. Most people is going to be hearing this and they're going to be like, oh, woe is me, this country is so messed up. The president essentially, from the president to Congress, they essentially choose my menu and I'm stuck. And it's in my 401k. Oh my God. Americans' 401ks are There's 75 steps in here. Some of y'all should be thinking, I want to become a congressman. That's what you should be thinking. I want to be the one to make the decision because they don't know what they're doing. So by the time you get done, ChatGPT should have created your logo and you go and campaign. Okay? Some of y'all should be saying, I want to work for one of these federal agencies. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But y'all know these federal agencies. Some of y'all should be saying, I want to get the contracts. I'm going to give you a tool at the end to show you how to search for the contracts on a local level. You can search for them on a federal level. But the local level, the money is more, it's like next year or 90 days to a year. It's more tangible in your pocket versus like when you start looking at this federal stuff, like what they're doing right now, they're planning for fiscal year 2027, right? That's a little ways out. And then you might not be big enough to get some of these contracts, or you might be. You could get the toilet paper contract for the new data center. I don't know.
It's literally a contract for everything.
I know, it's a contract for everything. I spoke at an event. I'll see if I can tag him, and I'm hoping, he seemed like a really upstanding dude. I spoke at an event some years ago with a guy who teach people how to get government contracts, and this was Jason something. His name was Jason something. I'll tag him down below. We spoke at an event. I don't know him well, so I can't completely vouch for him, but he rocked the house at the event, and everybody that I know that knows him, they have nothing bad to say about him. And he teaches you how to get these very simple government contracts. Okay? So there's, I gave y'all, 10 steps as an alternative. So I'm challenging every one of you who's sitting there upset about how the government makes these decisions about where your 401k goes. And I want you to think of alternative ways to fit in this sequence instead of just being a victim. Okay? Okay, I want to make something very, very clear about the House committees and the Senate committees. They do not write checks. They just allocate the money. They allocate how much deficit, how much spending. They just allocate the money. So the analogy that I want you to think about is the House committees, they are the architect, or the House committee and the Senate committee, they're like the architect. The appropriations committees, they're like the general contractors. The federal agencies, they're like the project managers. The private and the public companies that get the contracts, they're the actual builders. Okay? So that's how I want you to see this whole thing.
So it's like a whole irrigation system.
I don't know why irrigation.
Well, when I say that, when I say irrigation system, because that's what allows the flow, right?
Okay,
that's
I like
what opens. That's what opens the flow.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
Right.
Okay.
And then from there, after everything is able to flow, then that's when it can go into where it needs to go. Into the
dump, which is your 401k.
Into the soil or whatever. into the dump. You caught me too fast with that one. But yeah, it's
I'm joking.
Essentially though, into wherever it needs to flow.
Yeah.
But first it got to get dug out, and then those things, and so.
Yeah, I like that. That was good. Okay, that was real good.
So I wouldn't say dump. I would say just into the flow of maybe like the 401k, because when you talk about the irrigation system and you talk about a farm, when you have an irrigation system, it eventually leads to whatever's being planted, so it can harvest eventually after that.
I was joking. I was joking, but serious. But yes, you're right. I don't know that much about irrigation systems and husbandry, but there has to be some wastewater that goes somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That was the wastewater I was thinking about.
But what I was saying is, once it get into the 401k, you can still have some type of harvest.
Yeah, I know. That's the reality of it. Nicole is not that.
Into the dump.
I'm not. I mean, people have made a lot of money
in
the stock market, 401ks, retirement, non-retirement accounts. A lot of money has been made in this country there.
And sometimes that money just sitting there, and people don't even know what to do with that money other than just let it sit.
Yeah, we've talked about this over and over again. You're right. Okay, I'm going to go easy on it today because this conversation is not about the dump. All right, so let's talk about the committees that matter, right? Because we talk about these committees, right? You got the House committees, you got the Senate committees. There's about 30 committees, but I only want to talk about the ones that matter. In the whole episode, we talk about the House Armed Services Committee. Okay, so the House Armed Services Committee authorizes funds for the Department of Defense. Fun fact, the Department of Defense budget is larger than the GDP of some countries. So right now, what they are focusing on is allocating $1.1 trillion, okay? They're focusing on defense, AI, semiconductors, cybersecurity, and national security technology, okay? So they're allocating an enormous amount of money and voting on how to allocate this enormous amount of money for the upcoming year. And so right now, a lot of shift has happened with allocating this money. The AI money has gone from experimentation to now actual procurement. Like, okay, we're allocating money for you to experiment and get this technology right, but now it's time to pay the buck because we need you to actually implement this stuff into our war systems. We need to implement this stuff into our security systems, our national security systems, our internal security systems, all the things that people have been talking about on the internet that the government uses AI for, good, bad, and ugly. Now, hey, we've invested. We want a product right now. We need a product. So one of the reasons why I said that this, or hopefully you can see why I said that this is going to affect everybody's lives, everyday lives, because they're making decisions. We're going from testing to actual procurement in FY 2027 because of AI. This is all going to be integrated into your life. Cybersecurity integrated into your life. From a financial aspect, right? Hey, the government is allocating money to these different things that will end up in your 401k or affect your investing decisions, but also you're going to be using these products. You're sandwiched in between the government's decision, these few people that's making spending decisions in this committee.
So it's like we're all players, right? Like we're all athletes, players in this league. But right now, all the referees are getting together, I don't know,
and trying to decide how the game goes, because all of it is scripted.
And they're right in the game right now.
Right in the game, because it's all scripted.
But we not gonna know if we don't tap in with the referees.
We just gonna be playing. We let a game. Ball is life.
With a straight face. Ball is life.
Ball is life, and they over there like, no, you gonna foul the big dude, and no, you gonna.
And when you see number 3,
right,
get the ball in his hand,
right,
you blow that whistle.
Right. Okay. Here's some other committees. The House Financial Services Committee, which oversees like stable coins, banking, the SEC, tokenization, treasury markets. So the Clarity Act, that's these jabronis. Okay. The Senate Banking Committee. So the first was the House Financial Services Committee. This is the Senate Banking Committee. Similar, little bit of overlap. So they're going to be looking at banking, obviously, stable coins, some other things.
I cannot hear the word jabroni.
How does it make you feel? The Rock is going to come after us because you know he's got it trademarked. And I don't know, like, is this an homage to him? He just created the proper word.
You went on a jabroni tangent that one day.
Listen, I've been going on a jabroni tangent since I had since I had JD. I've been on a jabroni tangent. I've been trying to figure out ways to curse without cursing, but then I incorporated cursing back into my lexicon, and so now they're both there. Jabroni, cursing. Okay, another committee, popular committee, House and Ways Committee. They handle basically like taxes. And the House Energy and Commerce Committee, they handle things like energy, data centers, things of the likes. All right, so I have another framework that I want to share with you. Not going to pretend like I got it memorized, but I need you to lock all this in your mind, okay? So I gave you the life cycle of how money moves through the government system and how it's allocated through the government system. But I want to take another step back and give you a life cycle, the framework from a business perspective, how dollars are attracted using the government, okay? And this is a really good segue to give a lesson about just business just in general. And the reason why I want to just kind of stop here is because what I'm about to share with you through this framework, this is one of the, people not understanding this is one of the biggest issues that they have in their business, okay? So I'm gonna explain it, and then I'm gonna do a whole business lesson, okay? So the core framework is start with the problem, the narrative, then it goes to the congressional hearing, then it goes to the committees, then it goes to authorization, then appropriation, then it goes to the agency, then to the contract, then to the industry, then to Wall Street, to retirement accounts. Okay? So it's same thing, but from the other side, right? The business side. Problem, narrative, congressional hearing, committee, authorization, appropriation, agency, contract, industry, Wall Street, retirement accounts. Okay? What I want you to understand here, the two at the top, the problem, the narrative, then it goes to the congressional hearing. Most people, when they start a business or they start investing, whatever your investment thesis is, you just come up with a thesis that you think is a good idea. You start a business of something that you think is a good idea, but you don't think about it in terms of the problem that you solve for people. Okay? How can I take what I do and maybe even tweak it a little and solve a problem? Better yet, forget what it is that you do. Look for a problem that people have. Because what people will tend to do is like, oh, I'm into fashion and I want to start a clothing line. Or I really like, I want to become, I like development or real estate. I want to be a real estate investor. And those things are great, but you keep your money coming in when you focus on solving a problem for people, right? The only way you make money in this world, the only way you will consistently make money in this world is by bringing value. You bring value by solving a problem for people. I want to really go in on that, but let's specifically talk about this. If we know that there's money in the government and we already just seeing how all this works, solve a problem for them. Solve a problem for them. Now, this is real important. When you're solving a problem for your customer or for the government, you got two different types of problems. You got known unknowns and unknown unknowns. Known unknowns is, hey, we have a problem. We have a pollution problem. That's a known, but the solution is unknown, and I'm going to figure out the solution to give it to people. I'm going to come up with a machine that takes all the microplastics out of the air. Okay, let's say you figure that out. That's a known unknown. Where you really make money, this is the top 0.0000001% of business owners can do this, is successfully figure out an unknown unknown. People don't know they have this problem, and I'm going to solve it for them. That's very difficult, but you make a lot of money if you can solve it. Case in point, when Steve Jobs dropped the iPod, no one was walking around saying, I want a little thing where I can have a bunch of songs. He literally dropped it and said, it's 1,000 songs in your pocket. Oh snap, I didn't know I needed that problem. Come to think about it, this man is kind of clunky. When he dropped the iPhone, no one was walking around saying I need a full computer in my pocket. No one. We was happy with our sidekicks and Blackberries. We was living our best lives. I had them all.
It's a level of adaptation that comes with that, though, because I don't think...
That's why you got to be crazy to do it.
I don't think that people even know, right? I don't think people realize that it was a problem until that thing that they had is gone. If you had an iPod, right? Before the iPod, you had maybe MP3 player, CD player, whatever. But at the point that you had the iPod, right? And let's say it got lost, it got wet.
Then you realize you need it.
Then you realize, like...
Before we even get to that part where it gets lost, I got to sell you on a problem that you didn't know you had. This is why y'all love Elon. Because he's selling you on problems that you didn't know you had, but these aren't really problems. That's why I don't like Elon.
Okay, so what I have seen through my lenses and my context is that first generation immigrants come to this country and bring to us the unknowns that we never knew we needed. And they're able to identify it from an outside perspective and come in and get straight to it.
Yeah, and so the beautiful thing about that is they're typically bringing, and this is very much so a generalization, right? And so you use whatever group of people that you want to identify this. What they'll typically do is they've already seen it in their country work. So they already have proof of concept. And so they're like, hey, I bet. So like one of the things that this is a great analogy. In Philly, we have something called water ice. Okay? I don't know what y'all call it other places, but it's ice, flavored ice.
Snow cone.
Not a snow cone. That's the best way you can describe it, but it's not a snow cone. It's not.
Okay.
But if you have no context for it, yes.
Okay.
But it is a very Philadelphia thing. And so what a lot of people have done all over the country is they bring water ice to other places. Like I think I've seen some water ice down here in Atlanta. For whatever reason, it doesn't catch on the same. But sometimes you hear stories about people making a killing doing it. So that's the analogy, right? This thing is going really well. You got proof of concept. Hey, this will be really, really great over here. It's hot in Georgia in the summertime. That was just a summertime thing for us in Philly. Get some water ice. I was never a huge fan of water ice, me personally, but it is definitely a summertime staple. So yes, you are correct. But the ones that have no proof of concept and is like, I have a vision. These are true visionaries. I have a vision. Elon Musk had a vision of this ugly truck. I still cringe when I see this thing.
Me too, though.
And guess what? People still drive around in it. It was an unknown. Do you need a truck that's got all these features? No, but I guess some people did. The same thing with SpaceX as a whole. We don't need none of that stuff. But he's saying you do. Do we? I don't know. Nicole thinks we don't. But we may look up in 10, 20 years when, all this stuff is fully integrated. Like, I don't know how I could have lived without a Tesla robot. I don't know. But this is food for thought. So what I want you to be thinking about in your endeavors to solving a problem, to starting a business or developing your investment thesis, solve a problem. Start with the problem. Identify the problem first. Unless you have some crazy talent for something that like, oh, only you can do this or whatever. Start with the problem. If you start with the problem, if you already have a business, figure out how you can tweak it to solve that problem more. If you are a true visionary and you see this new thing and you want to chart that course, I'm also okay with that. But just know that it is much difficult to to present to the market an unknown, because you got two things to sell them. I got to sell you on the problem that you didn't know you had, and I got to sell you that I'm the solution. Okay? Because there's been instances where people think like TiVo and DVR. Hey, you need to record this stuff. We're selling you on the problem, and then guess what? They fought each other. The next thing, Netflix is popping. Y'all done sold us on a problem, but you didn't sell us on your solution.
I think the best problem-solving company that I personally ever seen, or personally think that have solved maybe a massive problem, it's probably Uber. And when I say that,
that was definitely an unknown. Because I remember the first time I took an Uber. I went to a wedding with this guy, and he was like, he came and picked me up in the Uber, and we rode around. We did a whole fun thing in the Uber. And I'm like, what is this? This is glorious. He's like, here's my app. And then it was just like, oh, I didn't know that I didn't need cabs anymore.
Yeah.
Because I used to be a cab catching mug.
And see, cabs were heavy in probably, I would say, in certain territories
Northeast,
of the,
Northeast.
Because cab for us down here in Atlanta, like,
Yeah. So, but you see how that's innovation. You see how innovative Uber is. So I want your wheels. Some of you, it's just not for you, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to think like that. I'm gonna have a prompt that I want to give you to feed into chat towards the end of this. Okay. The other thing that I want you to see about this framework is that the government often creates the market before the market even exists. Okay, the government may have a need based on a problem, and they know how to create a whole market to help fund the further technology or innovation within this area, so that, hey, we have a cybersecurity issue. We're going to allocate money here so that y'all can solve this problem, but guess what? You're creating a whole market, and the rest of the engine will just keep going to further innovation to help us with cybersecurity issues. Does that make sense? Right? So I want you to think about your business as a cog, and that's okay, in the government's intent. Okay? Your business, think about it. Sometimes it's not there and you make money, and that's fine. But if you can fit into the cog and see where you are in the cog, then you understand your business a lot better.
When you say cog, what do you mean?
So I mean like a cog in a wheel. Like, so if you think about a whole entire system, like typically when someone says a cog in a wheel, they're trying to assign meaninglessness to it. But a cog in a wheel, like, so you think about a wheel, like an old wheel, and it's like, a cog is one of those divots, right? Hey, you're just a cog in the wheel. So think about like a widget, and you know how it's like, you're just, I think a cog is a divot, or it could be the sticking out part. Doesn't matter.
I got you.
You're just a cog. So it can mean insignificance, but it also can mean you're one part of many, right? And that's why I'm saying specifically here, you're not going to compete with the government. Like, let's just sometimes just be a cog and get our bread and take care of our babies. Or be a cog and be the change you want to see in the world. You don't got to sit at home and hate the government all day. Or be a cog and go and get on somebody's Senate. Do something.
Yeah.
You don't got to sit and complain, but it's a lot of money to be made as you are cogging your cog.
You know what? And that's so crazy that you put it like that, right? And because most of the people who watch this show, they have a higher level of thinking. It's a different level of thinking, different level of what they want to achieve and goals and things like that. But yesterday I took my kids to the park. My oldest son, I let him go play basketball. So then he comes and runs over to us full of mud, covered in mud, and goes, "Dad, can we go home now? I slipped in mud." And I said, "Well, we ain't going home. We just here, man. You just muddy, right?" I'm just sitting there. And so he came and just started sitting next to me, kind of moping. And I say, "Well, let me give you a new thing to think about, Cree." I said, "Would you rather just, since we're at the park, go play basketball and have fun right now? Or do you want to sit right here and still be muddy with me? Because if you go have fun, either way, you're going to be muddy. You're going to have mud on you because we're not going home. We're not leaving right now." I said, "So with you having mud on you, you might as well go have some fun while you got all this mud on you." At first, he wanted to mope some more. I was like, "Nah, just sit down." And he sat for a minute. I guess it dawned on him and realized, though, like, I'm still wet. I'm muddy. And he got up, and I ain't seen him no more after, until I went to go check on him. But saying, what you saying, just be a cog. You gonna
Sometimes
complain?
It's okay being a cog. Just get your money. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Don't just sit there and complain about being a cog. Because guess what? Even the president is a cog. That's why they took Nixon's power and forced you to resign. And now you're just a footnote and a joke in history. All that scheming you did, for all you Nixon lovers, sorry. Maybe you're like, "No, he's our guy. Here's my tattoo."
Here's my tattoo.
Rip it off your clothes. All right, cool. Got some more that I want to rattle off on a piece of paper. All right, so let's take a look at SpaceX and all of this. So most people think Elon Musk, SpaceX, rockets, That's how people still think. Now, y'all watched my SpaceX episode, so y'all know that that's not the case. But the reality is it started with a need, a national security need. So also, too, remember in this S1, he told a narrative. That was something else on one of the frameworks that I showed you. Start with a problem, then a narrative. You have to have a story about how this problem is here's a little quick aside. Go read The Hero with 1,000 Faces or The Hero's Journey. Two very similar things. The easier one is called The Hero's Journey. It is a 7-page document that was written in the 90s that outlined how stories should tell, that it follows the same story arc, okay? A guy wrote a book long time ago, Hero with 1,000 Faces, very thick book that outlined and said every story throughout history, cross continents, all followed this 17-point storyline. Every story, myths, everything. And then this other guy in the 90s took that story and condensed it down to 12 points. And this is why when you watch movies, it all starts off with the same storyline. Oh, we're doing our normal do, then something happens, then it's a call to action. The hero refuses the call, then they get dragged into it, and then they go past a point of no return. Then they meet their allies, and then after they meet their allies, they're faced with the deepest, darkest depths. They come up out of it, and then there's one more final battle, and then they win, and then they cross over, and they return home with the elixir. If y'all knew the story, then y'all would know how did she rattle that off, because my memory is crazy. That is actually, may have missed one or two, but that's actually the story arc. My whole point that I'm making is once you know the problem, you can create a story arc, and you tell that in your branding and in your S1. Or if you're not going public, you tell that in all of your branding. To raise money, to make sales, all of that. Okay? So SpaceX, there was a security need. He tells a story. I'm going to put satellites everywhere and only the U.S. government's going to have all of the information. Then it gets passed to, then there's a security need. The money gets allocated from Congress that goes to NASA funding, NASA programs, NASA contracts. Guess what? Because SpaceX told this amazing story about how we're going to create technology to help with national security need, guess who's getting the contract? SpaceX. Then guess, now I done created a funnel to go to Wall Street. And into what? The dump. Your 401ks.
Down into
No,
the
I'm
dump.
joking. Your 401ks is not a dump. It's just, you know, I like recurring jokes, and it's just an easy joke right now. It's not a dump.
It's just a filtration system.
Filtration system.
That's what you talked about like 2 podcasts ago too.
I did. So for those of you who are new, me referring to it as that is based on me explaining how people don't be having control over their 401k. All right, here go another case study. I'm reading off more papers than normal because I just didn't want to memorize this. I didn't want to skip any steps, okay? All right, so let's talk about the CHIPS Act. The problem, semiconductor dependence on Taiwan. That's a problem. Taiwan is they make the 70% of the world's chips. We can't have so much dependence on Taiwan when they also got beef with China, we got beef with China. Come on now, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So it's a national security. So the process, there's hearings about national security, the committee activity, then CHIPS legislation, appropriations, Commerce Department. Then the money goes down to Intel, TSMC, which is the Taiwan company. But guess what? They're building a factory here. Y'all want to do business? Get on our soil. Thank you. Micron, equipment suppliers, construction, utilities. Guess what? You may be thinking, Congress gave Intel the money and da-da-da-da-da. I want you to see this because when Donald Trump says buy a Dell.
So go out and buy a Dell.
Buy a Intel. This is how it came to be.
Deep.
All right, another case study for you. AI. Most people focus on NVIDIA, OpenAI, Anthropic, but it's a deeper story. Here we go. What's the problem? National security. This is a big thing right now. You want to get some government money? Figure out how you can fit into national security and tell the story about that. National security, congressional hearings, defense budget, The Pentagon, AI procurement, data centers, energy, infrastructure, AI ecosystem. Okay, what can you do about all of this now that you know how the government creates trillion-dollar industries? And now that you know how the House Armed Services Committee works and how they're affecting your life, what can you do about it? Okay, first things first, start thinking about your business in terms of solving a problem. People only make money for solving a problem. Yes, this is for you traders. This is why I be getting on you traders, because as of right now, the only problem that you're solving, if you plan to be a trader full time, this is partially why it's a gamble for a number of reasons. But one of the reasons why it's a gamble is because the only problem you are solving is providing liquidity for hedge funds. That's the only problem that you're solving. And when it was very specialized that only a few people knew how to do it, yeah, you can run it up. Now they don't open it up to where as though you're basically a workforce. What happens with workforce that have the same skill? They don't make that much money. Your only job is to provide liquidity for hedge funds and institutional investors. That's your only job. You're not solving a problem. Tell me what other problem you're solving of other people's, other than making money. Which I ain't mad at making money. Let's be very clear. Y'all know I ain't mad at making money. But it always starts from solving other people's problems. Okay?
I needed to hear that one. That was
All y'all need to hear it.
That was good. It's good right
I'm
there.
not saying don't day trade, but what I'm saying is understand what you're getting yourself into from a spiritual perspective, because that is how you make money. Solving other people's problems. Some people solve other people's problems easily. Some people solve other people's problems hard. Some people solve other people's problems with labor. Some people solve other people's problems by allocating and investing capital. Some people solve other people's problems just by being the brains of a business. You know, I'm just going a quick aside. The congresswoman with the red lipstick, the super famous, the Hispanic woman, AOC, she did a clip where she was like, it is impossible. She says something along the lines of, I know I'm gonna post this clip here, but I want to word it properly. It is impossible to become a billionaire through earning income.
There's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's exactly correct.
You can get market power. You can break rules. You can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws.
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth.
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right?
That's
And
right.
so you have to create a myth that since you didn't earn that, you have to create a myth of earning it.
And people was praising her for it. And I said, someone needs to educate her that earning income is not the only way to make money. It's one of 7 different ways. Investing, passive income, rental income. Earning money means you trade your time for money. Think about the cash flow quadrant. When you are an employee or when you are self-employed, on the left side of the quadrant, I'll put it up, whatever, I'm pretty sure it's the left side of the quadrant. The top is employee and self-employed, you earn money. When you are a business owner or an investor, you don't earn money. Someone needs to tell her, I'm not saying that 9 out of 10 billionaires ain't evil. You know, I think they all jabronis. But before you go and do a whole speech and say, it is impossible to earn $1 billion. Yes, goofball. It is also 6 different other ways to make money other than earning it. And you are so stuck in scarcity mindset that your brain can't even fathom another way of making money. Now, if you want to say there's only one honorable way to make money, and that's earning it, and therefore you cannot earn $1 billion. That's a statement. So you're saying that you cannot honorably invest money and make money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if she's saying with that statement, what she's implying is that the only way that she's either saying that you can't make money outside of earning it, or earning is the only honorable way. Forget the other 6.
And according to the quadrant, when we say earning, we're saying essentially trading our
Time for money. Investors don't trade time for money. For it is I who have given you power to get wealth.
To create wealth, yeah. Investors.
It's not about earning. There's nothing about earning.
No, investors. I was running that back. What you said? Investors don't trade their time for money because at some point, time surpasses, or I won't say time surpasses your money. At some point,
you make more money than time, and that's what she's trying to say. But boo, that's only one way. That's only one way. And so, if you really want to help the people, let's educate them on other ways. Better yet, educate yourself, or just call a spade and just say, I don't like the billionaires. Just say that. We cool with that. I don't like the billionaires that we got. We need new ones. Because there's always, in the scriptures, it also says, we will always have rich, we will always have poor. There's no way around it. Some of these poor people is going to be good poor people. Some of these poor people are going to be bad people. And this is why I always like to put an asterisk next to just condemning, especially all the super billionaires, because the good billionaires is quiet. We don't know them. They living their best life, driving a Honda Accord. Or they could be driving a Bentley, but just still just like, hey, I'm praying, I'm prayed up, catching the Holy Spirit. What's up? I don't have no problems. Let me buy my business and make my money and pay my staff. We don't know them. But the ones that want to be tap dancing on the stage all day.
That made me think when we work, right? If we're earning money, we exchange our time for money. But then, as I think about it, every time we exchange our money, unless we're at that point where we are about to develop something from the ground up, like grow it from the ground up, we're paying for the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Like gas station.
That's why I'm going to go back to this. Money is a store of human effort. It's a spiritual store of human effort. You turn your human effort, your energy, into this thing. Digital now. It from a spiritual perspective, is a store of human effort. That changes things once you understand that that's what it is. Most people think that is some zeros on a page, and it's not.
It's like when you go to the pump right now and you go put gas in your car, you're paying for the convenience, but you're paying for somebody's time to drive that truck there, somebody's time to be at that well.
And so when you have, and so that every dollar in your pocket, you're literally possessing from a low vibrational spiritual transference. Low vibrational. It's not even the lowest vibration, but it's low. You're possessing someone's physical human energy.
I almost cussed. You almost made me say a cuss word. Goodness.
So now go back to, remember, it is I who have given you the power to create wealth. That's different. The hit's totally different now. I've given you the power to store other humans' energetic energy. You can store it. Meanwhile, they can't store their own. They buying, spending. I've given you the power to store it. Without me, you couldn't have that power. I know. Like how it just unfolds like an onion, layers upon layers, blossoms like a flower. Yeah.
That makes me think. That's why the elites and they understand money.
Yeah.
And they understand.
Okay. All right. So what can you do with this? So I have a prompt. Actually, within the Profit Door community, our private investor network, I did a group coaching session last week because I wanted them to see, I knew I was going to do this episode, but I gave them in depth on how to take their existing investing thesis and or business vision using, y'all know I'm a big fan of this. The reason why I got this book in the office is because my private cohort, not our membership, but our private cohort, we're going through it. So I like to have it when we have our sessions. But anyways, create a vision using that workbook. I'll post a link to that book down below. Taking your vision, your investment thesis or your business vision and spinning it in just a way to cater to the money that's available to you. Again, the local money is much more timely. You can do the same thing. You can go and find the federal stuff too. But the local money, a lot of times, your city or state will put up a RFP that the due date is due within the next 30, 60, 90 days. So you could theoretically at least get awarded the contract after due date and be making money soon. Depends on, the contract, and it depends on whatever, right? All right, so here we go. Here's the prompt. After you craft your vision statement or your investment thesis, consider federal, state, and local political and social and corporate initiatives that I can take advantage of to either get grants, funding, partnerships, or just easy support. Do extensive research and get 5 to 10 strategies I can take advantage of by tweaking or niching my vision to align with what the government or large corporations want to achieve. Give me bullets and 1 to 2 sentences to support the possibility. I will post this down below. Okay, so basically in this prompt, you're literally just saying, hey, here's my vision, here's my investment thesis. I want you to do deep research on any local, federal, and state initiatives to figure out how I can tweak my thesis or my vision to support what's coming down the pipe. This is what Elon did. He had a version of ChatGPT before y'all did. He was like, I want to go to Mars. And then he said, hey, Chat, because that's when he was fooling with Chat back then. He was with them people. Hey, Chat, how can I take my Mars plan and fit it into the local government? And said, they worry about security. You get these rockets, won't you put some satellites up there? Give them the security they want that'll give you the money to go to Mars. This is what he said.
Clock it.
Word.
Clock it.
Word. Okay, Chat. Just imagine Elon. Okay, Chat.
I was with Dawson, and they told me to
You doing South African accent?
go to put the satellites up there, and I said, clock it.
Oh, and for added bonus, they're funding AI initiatives because that's a double security thing. Just make up a little fake AI company. that's losing the race. That's inferior. It's okay. You'll still get the money. XAI was born. Hello, world.
Yep, we have Grok. And,
in his leather bomber. He sleeps in a leather bomber.
Yo. The fact that
His
you
leather
brought up
motorcycle bomber jacket.
the fact that you brought up his
Listen, he
selection
rang the stock market bell the other day. It is June. Do you know what he had on?
a blue jean jacket.
No, a leather motorcycle jacket.
You know why I said that though.
No, why?
Oh, okay, never mind. We'll talk off camera about it.
You stupid. Yo, we can't even tell that joke.
But no, I know what you're
leather jacket.
I saw it.
And you wonder why people don't like him. You're weird.
He's worth $1 trillion.
I don't care. That means be hot.
Yeah. Come on now.
But this is the same jacket you always wear. You trying to be Steve Jobs so bad.
I pointed that out to somebody the other day when I saw it. I said, I'm changing everything in my closet.
And you were with leather bombers?
Not with but I'm just, why? Why do I gotta buy expensive
You
fabrics?
don't. Let me tell you the play that I do. And I know it look like I wear a variety of clothes. I'm gonna tell you the play. I literally only wear 3 outfits.
You don't wear no leather bomber though.
I don't wear no leather bomber, but I keep my decision fatigue down low because I only wear 3 outfits. Okay, the first one is a dress, an easy dress. I know what dresses fit my size. I don't try nothing on. I don't try nothing on. I know what shape dresses fit me. Okay, for the most part, as of lately, I've been having fun at consignment shops. It's one rack I go to, and it's one consignment shop. I don't go nowhere else because I get this. I get overwhelmed with decisions. Go to this one rack. I be in there for 10 minutes. The dresses be super cheap. Whatever. This dress came from a consignment shop. I don't care. Okay? Or I wear a blazer and a miniskirt. How many times you see me in a blazer and a miniskirt? Same, you know, my closet. You come to my closet. I got blazers, miniskirts. Decision fatigue is low. Match blazer, blue, skirt, boom.
Billionaire in the making.
Listen, when I saw the what's his face, Steve Jobs did the black T-shirt and jeans every day, I ain't doing that. I could go 3 more decisions. Which one do I want to do, and which combo, and that's it.
Yeah, they're not doing a lot at all.
Nope. I don't be thinking about what I'm wearing too much every day. And then the advice I'm gonna give you, it's just advice I'm always giving you. 1, think in picks and shovels, because everybody's following the top line of these trades, right? They're following the exact person that's going to get the big award. But remember, in order to support whatever the government is building, they need subcontractors. They need the support systems. So think picks and shovels. Y'all don't need me to explain that. I've been explaining that forever on this show. If you've never seen it, go watch another episode. Picks and shovels. Okay? The other thing is stop thinking tickers. Start thinking systems. Stop, what's the best stock pick? Have fun with that, but allocate money for that. But if you really want to really do something and affect change in your community or be a valuable cog in the wheel, think about the system. All you have to do is go 2 steps up from where you normally are. If you're normally a consumer, think like, okay, business owner, supplier. How can I be the supplier? Go 1 more step up. Manufacturer, how can I get, maybe I should invest. And I'm not saying don't invest in tickers, but don't go ticker picker. Go problem solution, then find the ticker. Oh, maybe I need to go and look for the suppliers that's fun, that's in a part of this. Manufacturers that's a part of this system.
And that was great. You brought up the Warren Buffett thing last week when you were kind of talking about that ticker picker.
That stuck with you, huh? And the analogy I gave, I said, stop being a ticker picker. Brandon was like, what do you mean by ticker picker? I said, if you learn how to be a good investor, you will always pick good tickers. But being a good ticker picker will not make you be a good actual business investor. An analogy I gave is the world's greatest business or investor of all time is a business investor. Warren Buffett buys businesses.
You were saying if you understand how business works.
If you understand how business works, you will pick good tickers. This is why ticker pickers ticker pick, because they're trying to figure out easy ways to pick tickers without understanding business fundamentals. It's not hard. Just read. I promise you'll probably understand business by reading like 5 good books. And right now you can listen to them at 1.5 speed on audio. I don't recommend it if you're not a reader because it doesn't seep in. You need it to be integrated in your brain if you're not used to doing it.
Especially at 1.5 speed.
Especially at 1.5 speed. Take your time. I reckon if you really wanted to seep into your brain, read the actual books. Read them. That's a major hack. Read. Don't just automatically go to the audiobook. Read it. It will go in your brain so much that you remember on what side of the page you read it. I got most of the stuff I'll be saying to you, like I just rattled off the hero's journey. I am imagining it because I read it. I read both the 7-page document and the thick book. I know what's on what page because I can remember it. I remember I read that page 3 times. I remember when I saw this, I said, aha. It'll get more into your brain and you'll be able to become a walking like dictionary. Okay? Understand these systems. And then sometimes when you see something that you like, go 2 or 3 steps up. Make decisions there. Maybe go 4 if you're a big boy or big girl. Make decisions there.
So,
Grow up.
what are some things that you put your time into that people can exchange their money for?
Hey, I have a fund, private equity fund, called Invictus Elite. We are actually, by the time, you didn't realize how good that is. We're doing a pitch session on the 22nd at 1 p.m. So this is our first time in a very long time that we're doing a public pitch session. Me and my partner will be on. We're going to be explaining what we're doing with our fund, our investment thesis, how we're giving investors return. It's called Invictus Elite. Go to the link down below and register for the session. Register for the session is absolutely free. You can be totally nosy, or if you want to make money with us, you can be nosy and make money.
I didn't even know that.
You didn't.
You didn't tell me that.
The whole layup.
Swish.
Swish. I got a bunch of other goodies down below for you. Don't worry. Y'all will be good.
You got one behind you.
Brandon is the best, y'all. Y'all, Brandon, where's your cash at? Everybody send Brandon $1.
$1.
I'm gonna post his cash app down below. I'm gonna pull it out of him. He don't got cash app. What you got, Venmo?
I got Cash App.
Oh, okay.
I got.
I'm gonna post it down below. Buy him a cup of coffee. He the bomb, y'all. He the bomb. My book, The Anti-Hustle. I always tell y'all about the manifestation technique that's in this book that I have used over and over and over again to defy all sorts of odds. But there's also some other really good stuff. There's a Christian business book. It is based in Christian principles. We got a bunch of orders. Y'all been knocking it out the park with ordering this book. I'm really grateful. The other thing that's in this book, I talk about the 4 seasons that you must go through and understand how to cycle through in order to get into God's purpose so that the money will chase you. I promise you.
Y'all go get the book. This book is global. We had the UK, 2 orders in the UK today. Canada, Cayman Islands. This book is global.
It is. I'm really grateful. Y'all been rocking the house with it. I appreciate y'all. So yeah. Let me know down below if it's something y'all want me to talk about. Do we have a question for them today?
I feel like a question is, what is a everyday problem in your personal life that you could solve? If that makes sense.
What's that everyday? If they knew, they didn't all be rich.
Not necessarily.
What's an everyday problem in your personal life that you wish someone could come up with a product to solve? If you keep me from getting a white line in my lip gloss, you can get all my money. I will endorse the crap out of it.
It's got to be a right lip gloss.
You know how many lip glosses I have tried?
I'm saying it got to be whatever is in that lip
Y'all
gloss.
let me know. I don't know what it is about my saliva mixing with this lip gloss, but Brandon got to be on the lookout for 2 things. Make sure I ain't got no parts popping out my hair, or 3 things. Here, no my body parts popping out, my hair is okay, and then my white line for whatever reason. I don't know.
I think that's a good question though.
Yeah. What problem if someone could just come and solve that problem for you? Somebody posted a couple weeks ago about if AI, because we asked a similar question like AI. What value does AI bring, and is it worth depleting the natural resources of this planet? Somebody said traffic. Hello, yes, AI solve traffic. Why we don't put AI on the things that we need it the most for? Why are we putting it on things that
AI solve traffic?
Yeah, that's traffic is nothing more than queuing and algorithms. If you're in an advanced city like in Los Angeles, like if you go to probably here, right, the lights are just on a timer. But if you go to a city like Los Angeles or possibly New York, in order to reduce the traffic, it's like queuing and algorithms. It's not on a timer. Or sometimes it might be a sensor.
Okay.
In certain cities, this is a whole big thing of like how to optimize the street lights to keep the flow of traffic going. And I'm sure AI can do a good job of it. Solve the traffic problem. Elon Musk was supposed to solve it with the tunnels underground, but then come to find out they was down there doing all type of inappropriate stuff in these tunnels. That's the conspiracies.
I ain't see that.
I did. You know, I keep my ear to the conspiracy ground.
to the conspiracy streets.
To the conspiracy streets. I'll be like, what? Who's a reptilian? Who pulled the mask off?
Oh my God.
I can tell y'all because I don't be sharing them because some of them be ridiculous. I wait until they like go mainstream, like, oh yeah, I should have told y'all about that. Then I break it all the way down, like it's such and such and such and such.
I just don't even know no more.
You
I just don't know.
You know about BBLs. I know about conspiracy theories.
I know about a BBL.
Oh my God. TMI. That's when I turned it off.
But
It's me. TMI. Yes, what was you about to say?
so we talked off camera earlier
About
about
what?
the SpaceX thing, and I had to fact check myself to make sure what I was telling you earlier is correct. But it is correct about Elon Musk locking them in at that IPO rate. Typically, when you IPO, those initial investors, they're locked in for about 6 months, I think it is, that they have to lock in before they can actually sell. But how he has structured it is he did it one full calendar year in a day, 366 days. That's the amount of time that they're locked in, but it's also in their contracted agreement that anything below that IPO price they cannot sell. So essentially saying that
This is
there's
the
a
people,
floor.
the investment bankers that bought. The people that bought it at 135, they can't. Okay, so if you bought it at 160, you're a retail.
You're a retail.
You're
can do whatever.
fine. Oh, okay.
Saying that to say, like, he secured. Yeah,
So basically he's saying within the first year. Well, within the first year, you don't have no big tranches being sold to drive the price down.
Right. But even after that, though, still he secured where for a long time, right? It won't go no lower than 135. Not significantly if it do. Maybe by 1%, 2%, but he secured it where for at least maybe 10, 15 years. He stored that time and energy right there in SpaceX. Stored it.
The more and more I see,
He's kind of a genius. He's something about the way that
he wears his leather jackets in the summertime.
something about the leather jackets. And
Oh, you know he got deodorant on.
I wake up in the morning
and put the jabroni
I put my
deodorant on.
jabroni deodorant on that.
In my jabroni leather jacket in the summertime. That made me think about one time when I was at Temple. It was July, 97 degrees. Maybe I was taking the summer class, but it was hot this day, and I seen this girl walking around in a puffy coat. I said, a puffer, like a big giant long puffer. I said, oh, she pledging. She pledging like a mug. Elon's pledging. The elites are pledging. Public humiliation.
Pledging.
Leather jacket, June 12th. All right, y'all.